Assalamualaikum and good day to our respected panels and audience. Firstly, thank you everyone for being here today. My name is Tengku Meddina Elisandra binti Tengku Musni and I am from SR2416NC. And I am pleased today to present my research proposal entitled Sleep Quality Impact on Performance among the Faculty of Sports Science and Recreation FSR, University Technology Mara UiTM athletes. I appreciate the opportunity to share my study with you, and I look forward to your valuable feedback and insights as I walk you through the background of the study, problem statements, research questions and objectives, conceptual frameworks, methodology, data collection procedures, and also the data analysis of this research. First of all, is the background of study. Sleep is recognized as one of the most important biological necessities for humans. It is not only essential for physical recovery and mental restoration, but also for overall well-being. For athletes, sleep quality is especially crucial because it enhances performance, support injury prevention, and ensure optimal physical and mental functioning. Research by Cherry D. Ma and her colleagues in 2018 highlights that the adequate and restful sleep is vital for muscle repair, mood regulation, and mental alertness, all of which are necessary for athletes to perform at their best. Student athletes, however, face unique challenges in maintaining good sleep quality. They must balance the demanding academic schedules and also intensive sports training and competition. Studies such as those by Fallegar et al. 2025 shows that inadequate sleep is common among student athletes and it is linked to impaired physical performance, slower reaction times, and a higher risk of injury. Moreover, research by Hershkowitz et al. In 2015 demonstrate that sleep disturbances can negatively impact cognitive functions like decision making, concentration, and mood skills that are critical for both academics and athletic success. At University Technology Mara, in the Faculty of Sports Science and Recreation FSR, developing a well-rounded evidence-based sports professional is a top priority. However, despite the faculty's strong emphasis on athletes' development, there is limited research specifically examining how sleep quality affect performance among the UiTM FSR athletes. Therefore, this study aims to fill the gap by investigating the relationship between sleep quality and the performance in UiTM FSR athletes. The findings will provide new insights that can inform targeted intervention such as sleep quality education and a holistic athlete development program, ultimately helping student athletes to reach their full potential in both sports and academic. Now, let's move on to the problem statement. The problem statement that formed the foundation of my research proposal on sleep quality and the impacts on student athletes in the Faculty of Sports Science and Recreation at University Technology Mara. Firstly, many student athletes at FSRU ITM are unable to achieve the recommended 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night. This is largely due to the combined pressures of demanding academic schedules and also intensive athletic training. The struggle to balance this responsibility often leads to insufficient sleep. Secondly, the lack of adequate sleep is not just about the matter of feeling tired. Research shown that insufficient sleep is associated with a higher risk of injuries, reduced athletic performance, and also impaired cognitive functions such as learning and decision making. This negative effect can significantly impact both academic achievement and also sports performance of the athletes. And thirdly, there is a currently lack of institution-specific data within UiTM FSR regarding how sleep quality directly affects the performance and well-being of the student athletes. This gap in knowledge makes it challenging to design and implement effective targeted intervention that could help our athletes succeed both academically and athletically. These issues highlight the urgency for research focused on sleep quality among FSRU ITM student athletes so that we can develop a tailored strategy to support their overall success. For this study, I have developed three main research questions. The first one is, what is the current status of sleep quality and duration among the FSR UiTM athletes according to the PSQI, Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index. Second, how do FSR UiTM athletes perceive their sports performance based on the SPPS Sports Performance Perception Scale? And the third one is there any relationship between the quality of sleep and also the perceived sports performance? These three questions guide my entire direction of the research, focusing on both the assessment of sleeps and performance, as well as the possible link between them. To address these questions, I have also set three research objectives. The first one is to assess the sleep quality among FSRU ITM athletes using the Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index PSQI, and then secondly, to evaluate the athlete's perceived sports performance using the Sports Performance Perception Scale SPPS, and the third one, to examine the relationship between sleep quality and perceived sports performance. On this slide, it shows the conceptual framework for my study, which examines the impact of sleep quality on athletes' performance among FSRU ITM athletes. On the left side, you can see the independent variable, which is sleep quality. This variable is measured using the Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index or PSQI, and it is broken down into 7 components. The first one is sleep quality, second, sleep latency, third, sleep duration, the fourth one, sleep efficiency, the fifth one is sleep disturbance, the sixth one is sleep medication use, and last one, daytime dysfunction due to sleepiness. Each of these components represent a different aspect of an athlete's sleep experience and also overall sleep health. And on the right side is the dependent variable, which is the athlete's performance. This is measured using the Sports Performance Perception Scale or SPPS, and it includes 5 main domains. The first one is athlete development. Second is mastery and improvement. The third one is strategy and preparedness. The fourth one is recovery and injury prevention. And the fifth one is the confidence and readiness. Looking at the arrow in the center, it represents the hypothesized relationship that the quality of sleep across its different components may influence how athletes perceive their performance in these key areas. This framework guides my research by linking the specific aspect of the sleep quality to the important dimension of athletes' performance, allowing me to analyze how sleep impact athletes in the FSRU ITM context. For the methodology of my study, I will use a quantitative research design to examine the relationship between sleep quality and performance among student athletes of FSRU ITM. The research design and approach of this study adopts a cross-sectional survey design which allows me to collect data from a single point in a time to analyze the pattern and the relationship between the variables. As for the population and sampling, the targeted population includes all student athletes enrolled in the Faculty of Sports Science and Recreation at University Technology Mara UiTM. I will use a simple random sampling to select participants to meet the inclusion criteria, ensuring a representative sample for valid result. For the data collection instrument, the data will be collected using 2 standardized validated questionnaires, which is the first one, Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index, PSQI, to measure the independent variable, sleep quality, and the second one is the Sports Performance Perception Skills, SPPS, to measure the dependent variable, which is athlete's performance. Both instruments have been widely used in sports science research and has been demonstrated the reliability and the validity. To measure this IV and DV, I will use a structured questionnaire divided into 3 sections. Section A covers the demographic information. Here, I will collect the details such as gender, age, type of sports, specific sports, level of participation, and years of involvement in sports. This info helps me describe the backgrounds of my participants. Section B is the Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index, or PSQI, and it is a widely used validated self-report instrument developed by BICE in 1989, and it contains 19 items that evaluate the sleep quality over a past month. These items are grouped into 7 components: subjective sleep quality, sleep latency, sleep duration, sleep efficiency, sleep disturbances, uses of sleeping medication, and daytime dysfunctions due to sleepiness. Each of the components is scored from 0 to 3, and the scores are summed to give a global PSQI scores ranging from 0 to 21. Higher score indicates the poorer sleep quality. There are also 5 extra questions about roommate or bed partner, but these are just for the clinical purposes and are not to be scored. Section C is about the Sport Performance Perception Skills, or SPPS. This section has 32 items divided into 5 subcategories: athletes development, mastery and improvement, strategy and preparedness, recovery and injury prevention, and also confidence and readiness. Participants rate each item on a 7 Likert scale from 1, which is almost never, to 7 is almost always. Higher scores reflect more positive perception of the athletic performance. By using these validated instruments, I aim to accurately capture both sleep quality and the perceived performance of student athletes in my study. Moving on to data collection procedures. My data collection procedures consist of 10 systematic steps to ensure reliability and the validity of my research findings. So here are the process. First, I will articulate the research goal. I begin by clearly defining the research objective, which focus on examining the relationship between sleep quality and performance among FSR athletes. The second one is I discuss with the supervisor. I consult with my supervisor to refine the research plan, receive feedback, and ensure the study design aligns with the academic standard. The third step is define the target population. I identify the target population and specify, which in this case includes all student athletes enrolled in the FSR UiTM. The fourth one is selecting instruments. These research instruments chosen are the Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index, or PSQI, to assess the sleep quality, and the Sports Performance Perception Scale, SPPS, to evaluate the perceived performance. The fifth one is to obtain the ethical approval. Before collecting data, I submit my research protocol for ethical review to ensure participants' right, confidentiality, and also safety to make sure they are protected. And next, I can distribute the questionnaire. With the approval, I distribute the questionnaires to the selected participants, either in person, online, and it depends on the accessibility and the convenience of both parties. After that, I collect the completed questionnaire. I collect the completed questionnaire, ensuring all responses are kept confidential and also securely stored. And then I analyze the data using SPSS. The collection of data entered into the SPSS for statistical analysis. I use descriptive statistics to summarize sleep quality and performance, and also the correlation analysis to examine the relationship. And then next, I compile the finding into reports. The results are organized and compiled into a comprehensive research report, highlighting the key findings and also their implications. And lastly, the final step is discuss and conclude. I finally discuss the result in relation to the research questions and existing literature, draw conclusions, and suggest recommendations for future research and practice. Last but not least is the data analysis. I would like to present my research question along with the data analysis method that I will use to answer each one. For the first research question, what is the current status of sleep quality among FSR UiTM athletes according to the PSQI? To answer this, I will use descriptive analysis. This involves calculating the mean, standard deviation, frequency, and percentages of the PSQI scores and sleep duration. This will help me to summarize and describe the overall sleep patterns and quality among athletes in my sample. For the second question, how do FSRU ITM athletes perceive their sports performance based on the SPPS? Here, I will also apply the descriptive analysis to the SPSS scores. I will report the mean, standard deviation, and frequency distribution of the athlete's perceived performance. This will provide a clear overview of how athletes rate their own performance level. For the third research question, is there any relationship between sleep quality and perceived performance? To address this question, I will use Pearson correlation coefficient. This statistic test will allow me to determine if there's any significant relationship between sleep quality measured by the PSQI and the sports performance as measured by the SPSS. If the data are not normally distributed, I will use the Spearman correlation as an alternative. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I appreciate the opportunity to present my research proposal, and I look forward to any suggestions, questions, or feedbacks you may have. Your insight will be valuable in helping me improve and strengthen this study. Thank you everyone once again.